Welcome to Stress Less Obsessed, the podcast. My name is Sophie Deans, and I'm here to bring you all things on self-care, self-development, as well as lifestyle tips and hacks to keep your life as simple and stress-free as possible. So let's make a start and join me on a journey of living a life with less stress. Hello friends, thanks for joining me here again for the latest episode. And today I want to talk to you about something very close to my heart. Something so close that I hunted near and far for it whilst I was travelling away in New Zealand a couple of months ago. Most mornings I was on the hunt, you better believe it. I'm talking about matcha. All right, nothing too serious, but yeah, this is a big thing. I love matcha. It's huge for me. And if you follow me on Instagram, you probably have seen a fair few shots of me enjoying a morning matcha, or even early afternoon, actually, if we're going to be accurate. And this isn't to be confused with my celery juice. Obviously a big fan of the green liquids, but yeah, I can't tell you how obsessed with matcha I am, but I'm going to try, and with good reason. That's why I'm doing the episode, because I feel like a lot of people don't know the benefits of matcha and don't know what all the hype has been about. So yeah, today's episode, I'm going to take you through what it even is, especially if you've heard of it, but you've never tried it, you don't really know what it's all about. And then I'm going to tell you exactly why I love it, and it has heaps to do with all of its lovely benefits. And as someone who gave up coffee, it's kind of my alternative, so I'll share that with you. And then I will let you know some ways that you can enjoy it, okay? Because there isn't just one way, and you can get it from lots of different places. And, maybe you'll be interested at the end of the episode to give it a try yourself. So, first things first, what is this thing called matcha? Now, I remember when it first, I say came out, it's probably existed for a very long time, but I guess when it became more of a thing, everyone kind of, I guess, like the turmeric lattes, the matcha lattes, everyone was on a health kick and that kind of vibe, and so I'd heard of matcha, but I had no idea what it was. And I think I may have tried something a bit like a matcha cake, I think it was. I was like, well, look, I will try this matcha stuff, and I love cake, so why not? And it wasn't what I was expecting at all. It was like, I was a bit disappointed because, yeah, I like my cakes to be decadent, and I was just like, why would somebody want this in a cake? Like, I knew it was kind of related to green tea, and even though I drank green tea, I just couldn't understand why someone would want this in a cake. I still kind of don't, if I'm quite honest. But if you would like to enlighten me, absolutely, please leave a comment, because I would love to hear what the fuss is about when in terms of like cake or ice cream. I'm actually a huge fan of matcha. I should probably just try it again myself. But at the time, I didn't really understand why you would mix up like an unhealthy food with like matcha, which I thought was like for all these health benefits, which it is. So there you go, a little bit conflicting. But moving on a few years, I was trying everything and anything to try and reduce inflammation in my body. I'm still on that journey if you have been following me. And I also have always been absolutely stress less obsessed. So I was looking at ways to reduce stress, make life easier. And I heard green tea and matcha were really good for both inflammation and stress. And like I say, I already drank green tea. My taste buds had kind of acquired the taste. And so I thought, okay, why not amp things up a bit with some matcha and actually like purchasing it for myself at home. So I'm receiving my first order, this big bag of finely ground bright green powder, not like my green tea bags. It was quite different. I wasn't really sure what to do with it. And yeah, I didn't really try too hard, I guess, to acquire the taste. I just added hot water and was just like, it's okay. And I didn't really stick to it, to be honest. And I guess I re-began or re-sparked my health journey to tackle this inflammation again. I would say probably November last year, maybe a bit earlier. And that's when I thought, look, I want to give this matcha thing another try. I've read such good things. And so I'd done more research and I found the reason why matcha is such a powerhouse comparative to green tea, which is also very good for you. And it's especially processed. Matcha is especially grown and processed green tea leaves, and that's why it contains these several beneficial compounds that can help support a healthy lifestyle. So now I'll tell you exactly why, because that research helped me to decide that I love it. Okay, I'm all for things that are good for you. And so firstly, I love it because of its high concentration of L-theanine. Now, L-theanine is basically, it's an amino acid that's known for its calming effects on the brain, and it helps to promote the production of alpha waves in the brain, and these are associated with a state of relaxed alertness. So not causing drowsiness, not making you sleepy, but kind of just inducing relaxation feelings and stress reduction. So that is one of the things that made me purchase matcha in the first place. Now, next up, the other reason I love matcha is probably because I'd already given up coffee, right? And I gave up coffee, I think it was 3 years ago, just over 3 years ago now. And you know what? One of the big things I missed about coffee was like having something in the morning to kind of savor, especially in winter. Something warm. It's just really comforting. And look, one thing that did bother me when I was looking into matcha, and that was the caffeine content, because when I gave up coffee for about 3 days afterwards, I had a real banging headache, like migraine, not good, did not feel good at all. And I didn't want to have that kind of dependence on another drink. I know a lot of us are like, I have to get my coffee, and we make it a huge priority. And I didn't want to have that with matcha. So that's one thing that concerned me. But the reason what I actually like matcha for is because of the presence of the L-theanine that I mentioned just a minute ago, the calming effects. It actually helps us not have the whole jitteriness that you often would associate with high caffeine beverages. So that combination of the caffeine and the L-theanine, it promotes a state of focus calmness, if that makes sense. And so therefore it can help improve concentration, mental clarity, but also reduce those stressful feelings and anxiousness. And I notice a real big difference with my concentration and focus personally. And I don't get the crash that I would get with coffee. So I would find I might be more awake in the morning to talk to people. I might be a bit like, oh, like scatty. And that's just me. But yeah, and then later in the afternoon, I'd be like feeling tired again. And I would always only have one coffee anyway. But yeah, then I find that you dip. But with matcha, I don't seem to get that at all. It seems to be way more stable and sustainable concentration, focus energy, if you can kind of understand where I'm coming from. And I have to say, in my comparison though, I did used to drink coffee on an empty stomach, or if not on an empty stomach, it would be very, very early in the morning with my breakfast. So, whereas with matcha, I tend to have it, usually I've already drank something in the morning, like a big glass of water or celery juice or smoothie. I've had my breakfast and then I will have my matcha after that. Okay, so I don't know, maybe that would make a difference. But yeah, it depends as well how your body processes caffeine, because everybody is different. And even now, since I've given up coffee, if I have like an espresso martini, my body reacts so differently than when I used to have a coffee every day. I feel like I'm a little bit more sensitive to it. But yes, that's the other reason. I love that I get sustained energy. And if I really am like, right, I need to get some shit done today, I'm like, I'm going to have my matcha, and it really allows me to power on through. I don't get tired. Sounds bad, but I don't get tired till bedtime. I can keep running. I can keep working until 9, 10, 11 sometimes, but I start work later anyway. So yeah, that's what I love about it. So another reason is that I found that matcha is super rich in antioxidants, particularly catechins, which have been shown to have neuroprotective effects and may help to reduce symptoms of anxiety and depression. And they do this by combating oxidative stress and inflammation that's in the brain. And so these antioxidants can contribute to an improved mood and overall well-being. And that got another green tick from me, because I'm all over mood boosting. Yes, please. Who doesn't want to be happier? And you'll notice that I listed matcha as a mood food. Yes, I know it's a drink, but still, same, but different. And it's on episode 7 of the podcast if you're interested in finding out about other foods and drinks to help boost your mood. Okay. And finally, the other thing that got me into matcha is, like I mentioned, I gave up coffee, right? And so I was kind of missing this thing. This thing was missing in my life. I've been drinking coffee since I was probably 15, every single day. Black, usually. And yeah, I just wished I had something to kind of replace it with. I like tea, but it wasn't really something I wanted to have in the morning. And so having this ritual, really, preparing it, consuming it, that can have a calming effect on the mind. just know that you're doing something that you enjoy. It's quite mindful. It's quite a mindful practice. And savoring each sip. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see I'm often sitting outside with a drink and just being in the moment, having a slow morning, a slow start. And yeah, this is another reason why I love matcha. It promotes peace and relaxation and gives me an excuse really just to sit with myself. So I highly recommend enjoying your matcha if you try it like this, rather than just rushing out the door with one taken away or whatever. So there you go. That's why I love matcha so much. There is more though. There's more reasons why people other than me love matcha. And I guess that will be because of the nutritional benefits. So for a start, what I've already mentioned, the powerful antioxidants, they help combat stress, and can reduce the risk of chronic diseases. And studies have actually shown that matcha has a higher antioxidant activity compared to other green teas. So there you go. That's why it's a powerhouse in comparison to the actual green tea that people kind of consume more regularly. And that's probably why it's a bit more expensive too. Matcha also may promote fat loss by contributing to an increase in your metabolism, which is great news. And not to mention that it also has vitamins A, vitamin C, E, and K, and it's providing these essential nutrients for our various bodily functions. It's helping our immune support, collagen production, and blood clotting. So don't worry, I'm not going to go too sciencey, but just know it's actually got lots of good stuff in it. Even the minerals, it's a great source of potassium, calcium, and magnesium, which you should know from the podcast is also great for relaxation and is essential for like bone health, muscle function, and our nerve transmission. So what else? Well, in terms of physical health, it can be beneficial, so in supporting your cardiovascular. And studies suggest that regular consumption of green tea, including our super powerhouse, matcha, it may actually lower the risk of cardiovascular diseases. So by lowering our cholesterol levels and improving blood vessel function. Now, I'm not saying this is directly correlated at all, but I recently had a blood test and I was told my cholesterol levels are perfect, amazing. So, I mean, I'm quite happy to think that it's the matcha doing this, but I'm sure it's actually related to my whole diet in general. But there you go. Now, matcha's antioxidant properties can also benefit our skin health. And how do they do that? Well, it's by neutralizing the free radicals and reducing that oxidative stress, which help to prevent premature aging of the skin. Bonus, bonus, bonus. So promoting a nice healthy glow, improving our skin texture, the tone, and because it's reducing inflammation, it's helping to reduce any irritation as well. So can you now start to understand what this hype has been about the whole time? Now, it all sounds too good to be true, but how do you actually go about enjoying it? Because I told you that when I got it, I didn't really know what to do with it, and therefore I was like, I didn't stick with it. I guess I wasn't enjoying it as much as I thought I would. And so there are lots of ways you can consume matcha to get all the benefits. And if you hate green tea, stick with me for a second, because there are many ways that you can make it more palatable if you are really not a fan. So even green tea, I remember it actually took me a while to get used to. I think I started off with the green tea and lemon tea bags just to take the bitterness away. Um, but honestly, if it's something you would really like to try and bring into your routine, I'd probably recommend giving a matcha latte a try first, because the milk weakens that green tea, that slightly bitter taste a bit. Um, and now I have mine with coconut milk as well, and I find that diverts my taste buds a little bit. But I would be happy to drink it straight anyway, because as I say, I'm used to it and I really enjoy it now. I think oat milk can give it that creaminess as well, so that might be something you might want to try for a softer introduction. And something else that came to me today, because I went to a cafe this morning and I got a leisurely matcha to just sit outside and chill as I do with my matcha. And I was like, whoa, what's going on here? This is not as pleasant as the one I make at home. And I don't know what it was. I mean, obviously, there's lots of different types of matcha, there's lots of different brands, but I've taken good care with the type that I've purchased. And I got Japanese sourced, organic, really well processed, obviously more on the expensive side. And so I really want to look after it so it stays fresh. And I really think the storing of matcha, if you're doing it at home, really helps. So I've poured mine out of the pouch that it came in, and as it directed, to keep in the fridge, but I've decided to actually put it in a glass container. What do you call it? Like the vacuum. They're not vacuum. The sealed containers. That's what I'm trying to say. Glass sealed container in the fridge, because I didn't realize, but it makes a huge difference. Okay. So if you go out and maybe you don't want to purchase matcha the first time, you want to just dip your toe in and you have it at a cafe, don't think that you don't like it just because you've had it at one cafe. Maybe try it somewhere else. Maybe buy it at home so you can experiment. And yeah, there are different types of matcha. So when I purchased a fresh batch recently, I purchased the premium ceremonial type because I really wanted to see if I liked the high quality matcha. I didn't want to try the everyday, it's called the everyday matcha, and be like, oh no, it's not very palatable, and then not drink it. So I wanted to give it a good go. So I can say now though, I've just purchased the everyday one afterwards to tell the difference. And I can definitely taste that the everyday one is more bitter. And I definitely did enjoy the more expensive one, unfortunately. But it's not like dramatically different, but I can tell. So yeah, I mean, it's up to you if you want to dip your toe in and try the cheaper version, or go all out and go, yeah, if I'm gonna do this, let's give it a proper go. So I will include the link to where I get my matcha from, and then you can blame me if you purchase the expensive one and then you don't like it. Maybe you can send it to me instead. Okay, so when it comes to preparing matcha at home, I purchased the set. Like I say, I don't do things in halves. I went all out. I bought the set, so I would boil the kettle. I'd wait a little bit, and I have like a little thermometer because it directs that you don't pour hot water over 80 degrees onto the matcha. So I wait till it cools down a bit. I pour the hot water into a bowl. Yes, it's under 80 degrees. And then I've got this little tea sieve, and I put my matcha teaspoon through the sieve into the water. And I've got this little Japanese whisk, which is so cute. It's I think it's bamboo, and it's just, you have to soak that as well. It kind of thickens, it absorbs water, and the little whisks um, thicken, and it makes whisking easier. And then you just whisk it, it froths up and gets bubbles, and it's a beautiful bright green color. After that, I add in my coconut milk, and then I pour it all into my mug. Now, recently, I have to say, I have been a little less patient. The reason why is because I keep forgetting to soak the whisk, and you need to soak it in like hot or warm water for, I don't know, like 5 minutes, I guess. And I always forget until I'm preparing the matcha, and then I'm like, oh. So recently, I've purchased a natural electric whisk. And so my poor, cute Japanese traditional whisk is not going to get much use for much longer. So I whisk it all up, brilliant, and yeah, I just love it. I find it really soothing. The only thing is, because it's not hot, is you pretty much have to drink it right then and there. I mean, maybe a problem for some, maybe not for others. And in summer, I turned it into iced tea. So I made a bigger batch, let it cool down, put it in a glass bottle, and then stored it in the fridge. Then, when I wanted it, I'd pour some out, add ice. Oh, you have to have ice. I'm sorry. It just makes it even better. And then I added my coconut milk, and it was as equally as yum. The only thing is, I did notice the bright green colour did oxidize a bit when you leave it. So it would go more of a murky green, which is a shame. I know you eat with your eyes as well, but it did taste the same. Other ways you might want to enjoy it is by making a matcha smoothie bowl. So if you love your smoothies, and you can shove it in there, you can make a nice little bowl with your powder, add some frozen fruits, leafy greens, and your choice of liquid or milk. And that can make for a really nutritious and energizing breakfast or snack. And there are even things like, you can throw it in, if you make those like energy balls, throw in some matcha and combine the powder with like nuts and dates and other wholesome ingredients, your butters, peanut butters, and just create little bite-sized snacks that literally give you a quick energy boost, but also fill you up and satisfy any cravings. And yeah, there's really a whole other world of stuff you can do with it, but it all depends if you like the taste or not. If you don't like the taste, you'll probably want to cover it up and just try and get the benefits that way, or you can embrace it and become a real matcha queen like me, apparently. So yeah, there's lots of places to get it online. Like I say, I really did look and do my research because I wanted to purchase really high quality Japanese sourced. And so, you're getting the real thing. You're getting as much of those nutrients and antioxidants as possible. And that's it. That's my 2 cents on matcha. If you'd like to know anything else that I haven't shared in this episode, then give me a message. Give me a message on Instagram. Comment in the comments here, wherever you're listening. And I just want to remind you that everybody is different. Everybody responds to foods, and especially caffeine. Just be aware that excessive consumption of caffeine can lead to negative effects. So just because this isn't coffee, just be aware it does have caffeine in it. And so you don't want to be affected by insomnia or, like a rapid increased heart rate that some people get when they're sensitive to caffeine. So I think if you're trying it for the first time, maybe just try a little bit, or maybe make it a bit weak and just see how you go. And definitely contact like a healthcare professional if you've got any kind of concerns about incorporating it into your diet. This would be especially so if you have any existing medical conditions or any medications you're on, or if you've had like any prior sensitivities to caffeine. Okay, so don't just wing it. Your health is not worth it. You're trying to improve your health, right? Not make it worse. And yeah, I would just say I personally know that I can't have caffeine after 2 p.m. because it does keep me awake. I'm like, my eyes are bouncing off the wall at 1 a.m. Not fun. But it does depend how your body metabolizes caffeine. We're all very, very different. I hope this has given you a better insight into what this whole fanatic thing is about. Me specifically, because I know I do. I actually don't have shares in Matcha, but I know I do go on about it a lot. I just love it. And yeah, feel free to join the club if you so desire. I'd love to answer any questions. Drop me a message. And don't forget to subscribe for future episodes. Thank you, lovely listeners. I'll see you next time. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Stress Less Obsessed. And thanks for listening. Until next time, breathe and stress less.